Hi everybody, Julie Hammerstein here. I wanted to answer a question that a mom asked here on the website. And she was describing how she went to lunch with her daughter and realized that the lunch time that was provided for the kids was very, very rushed. And this mom's concerned because her daughter's a slow eater anyway. So she feels like she's not really getting to eat all of her lunch, which is a big problem, right? So the question was, why does lunchtime have to be so rushed? And I'm not really sure, to be quite honest. I think that a lot of times that they're trying to fit so much in during the day, and what's great about this school that this mom described is that the recess is actually before the lunch hour, which studies have shown are much more effective in kids learning and how they function during the day, and then they're also not rushing through their lunch to get to recess. Well, that's okay, but with this particular mom, it feels like the lunchtime is still rushed. So I'm not really here to change policy. I think that there are certainly some things that you can do to raise that awareness in your school. And so if you are a concerned parent and you feel like your kids are being rushed during lunch, most of the time, school administration is pretty open to your feedback, and maybe there's some ways to come up with some solutions that you could offer to the school administration. They really like it, not as much when people come with their concerns without solutions. And so if you have some ideas that you want to present to the school, I think that's a really empowering thing to do. And a lot of times the administrators can start thinking outside the box a little bit. But what I do want to tell you as a nutritionist, that there are some things that you can do to give your kids foods that might be a little bit easier and faster to eat, but that are also calorie and nutrient dense. So especially if your kids are slow eaters, you don't want to be putting a lot of food, types of foods in their lunches that take a long time to eat. So for instance, things that maybe are overly sticky or overly crunchy or maybe are tedious. So, and at the same time, you don't want to give them too many snack foods and packaged foods that don't have the calories and the nutrition that they need. So I'm going to talk about a few of those ideas here in the video, and then I've listed some ideas below in the blog post that you can start getting creative with the types of foods that you pack in your child's lunch. And this one particular mom packs the lunch so that her daughter doesn't have to wait in line, which also saves time. So that's one advantage of packing your kids' lunch. But think of foods that are really just the finger foods that your kids can pop in their mouth and eat really quickly. So for instance, instead of giving them a tangerine or something to peel, or even an apple that takes a long time to eat, think of the things that are really easy to pop in their mouth, like blueberries or grapes, or of course a soft banana is going to be a lot easier and faster to eat. And the thing is that bananas are actually going to be higher in calories. So, medium-sized banana is anywhere from 80 to 100 calories. So whereas an apple is about 35. So think of the foods that are easy to eat that are also calorie dense. Now you also might want to consider less peanut butter. It's kind of sticky, takes a little bit longer to eat, but also maybe put your sandwiches on smaller size bread. So if you see, this is a very thin piece of bread. And if, a lot of times kids, especially if they're slow eaters and they know that they're going to be rushed, they get overwhelmed if there's too much food in their lunchbox. So again, think calorie dense. So you can do the peanut butter, which has about 200 calories per two tablespoons, but maybe just do half the sandwich. And so that way your child doesn't feel overwhelmed by saying, oh my gosh, I've got this whole sandwich and all these things to eat. Because if you think about it, like think about when you go to start a task, laundry for instance, and there are just piles and piles of laundry or piles and piles of bills. It's very unmotivating to get started if you think that there's too much to tackle. Well, the same thing might happen with your kids if they're just feeling like they have to tackle too much at lunch. So try thinner bread. And think of other calorie-dense options. Now this is a kefir-type smoothie. You can find these at natural food stores, and some regular grocery stores have them too, but it's made by Lifeway. And I love this because this whole thing's about 130 calories, and there's a good amount of protein and carbohydrates, but it's drinkable. They twist off the top. It's really fun. And this and some fruit and even half a sandwich would be an adequate lunch, and they can eat it really quickly. You can also do the yogurt tube, something like this. Now I like the Eating Right brand or some of the more natural brands, so don't find the ones with the dyes and the high fructose corn syrup. Do the ones that are a little bit more natural. Other things would be to do whole grain bars like this. So again, maybe not a crunchy granola bar, but something that's a little softer and easier to chew, that has some natural ingredients and natural fruit in it. Again, maybe instead of the chips, you could do something like Veggie Booty. I don't know if you've seen the Pirates Booty brand, but this is a great way to get a little bit of nutrition, but these things almost melt in your mouth, so they're really easy to eat. Instead of sweets, you can put in like these little honey sticks. So these are a good source of carbohydrates and calories. It's a little something sweet, and it's something that they can just suck on and get some extra nutrition. So those are just some ideas. Like I said, I'll list some below to give you an artillery of things to put in your child's lunch. And then also, if they have a morning snack and an afternoon snack, and you're the one packing that, like if your kids have to bring their own snack to school, again, think of things that have maybe 200, 300 calories, like a bar or something like that, or a yogurt, so that they can have a little more calories at mid-morning, and so that they don't have to make up for so much of those calories during lunch when you're feeling like they're too rushed. And same with the afternoon snack. So kind of load up on either side of lunch, and then put the things in the lunch that you know your kids are going to eat. Don't challenge them with foods that you don't think they're going to eat. Save those for dinner and times when you can monitor that, and really put in the stuff that you know they love so that they can get in the calories and do it in the time that they're allowed. And again, take on that responsibility of talking to the teachers or talking to the administrators at your school and just asking the question, why does this have to be so rushed? Or is there a way that we can work with some of the kids who maybe eat a little bit slower? And I bet you they'll listen, and especially if you come to the table with some ideas. So that's the answer to your question today, and I'll look forward to connecting with all of you the next time that I see you here on the site. All right, have a great day.